Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well and you all had a lovely weekend. My apologies that I wasn't with you on Sunday. I've got a bit of a stinking head cold, so bear with me as I look like I'm crying. I'm not crying as I splutter my way through this. The Sophie and Edward video, the Sophie and Edward video, Edwards. Ooh, see, I'm going to try my best to get through this video. It will be my next video. I just need to spend a bit more time on it because I want to compare it to Catherine and William's tour as well. So please bear with me. I will be back with you very soon following up with that video. So where to start on this one? Well, I'm going to start with a magazine that I've just bought because I found this absolutely entertaining as anything. And it is the new OK Special Royal Edition magazine that's come out. Royal Women, celebrating fabulous females of the British monarchy, a special historic collector's edition. Check out the front page. Do you notice something? Do you notice that there is someone who is not there? Yes, she's not there. She's not on the front cover. Not that I think that she'd be bothered about that because, well, she hates the Institute. She hated being part of the royal family. It was, what wasn't it? Depressing, racist, misogynistic, soul-destroying, soul-crushing, near enough, you know, pushed her over the edge. She had to escape with her family. Their lives were in danger. Yeah, they were racist to her unborn child. I mean, it's pretty endless, the gripes that we have heard about how Meghan's 72 engagements that she did in the royal family for the under 2 years that she was with them was the worst experience of her life. So I'm sure she's totally fine not appearing on the cover of this Royal Women magazine. What do you think? Now, however, Meghan does appear on the inside of the magazine, but not until page 68. And on that page, it's only because they're advertising Tom Bower's Revenge. So yes, there is Meghan on the front cover of Revenge's book. And I think there's someone at OK Magazine that felt like they were going to get some jellyfish stings in there because it's not the only one. When Harry and Meghan appear together, well, Meghan, obviously, because it's to do with royal women, it is a little bit later on after an article to do with Edward and Wallis. It is also underneath royal divorces. This is because they're talking about the couple leaving the royal family, but I can't help but think there is also a little bit of a dig here. But the fact that they've compared a black and white picture of Edward and Wallis, and it's a very similar style. As I said, it's jellyfish sting number 2. Jellyfish sting number 3, however, is my favourite. It's a quote from Meghan where she had advocated for so long for women to use their voices and then she was silent. But the fact is they've got a picture of Meghan on a stage under a spotlight with a microphone in her hand and she's talking about being silent. Meghan has been anything but silent or silenced, as Oprah said. Never before have I ever seen a royal woman give so many speeches. She was only with the royal family for such a short amount of time, yet every engagement, even if it was Harry's event, Meghan was there with a microphone giving a speech, mainly about Meghan. As for the magazine on a whole, though, from what I've seen, as I said, I've not had a chance to sit there and read it properly. There's some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous pictures in here, photographs of all of the royal women, some really lovely stories. Zara gets a mention, which is possibly going to add a little bit of insult to injury to Meghan because Zara doesn't have a title and she's on the front cover. The York sisters, Beatrice and Eugenie, obviously they are not senior working royals either, and they are together on that front cover. So I can imagine there's possibly been a few plates smashed in Montecito if she's actually seen that magazine. Either way, you can't blame OK Magazine for not having her on the front cover because the one thing that Meghan is certainly famous for with regards to the royal family is being a one-woman wrecking ball. Underneath all of the photographs of Meghan, a lot of the titles of the articles they're not unflattering, but they are generally saying something negative. How she clashed with the hierarchy, the family relationships were falling apart, about how Meghan, one minute she's saying, I think forgiveness is very important, but also in the next breath saying, I'm going to continue saying bad things about them because I haven't got an NDA and I can keep talking. That was actually taken from the Cut magazine 2 weeks before Queen Elizabeth died. So Meghan, one tear left I go. For most of us that are well aware of Meghan had only been threatening the royal family a few weeks before Elizabeth died, it made it all the more hypocritical her to be stood there. On Twitter on Saturday, someone posted, if you type in sick of the, it auto-populates with Sussexes. So I asked Twitter and I asked you guys on the community page of the YouTube channel to type it into your Google no matter where you are in the world to see what comes up. We had the same in Australia, USA, Spain, Ireland, South Africa, Ghana, Indonesia, the UAE, Guatemala, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Cameroon, Romania, Switzerland, Netherlands, Portugal, India, Mexico, Hong Kong, Tanzania, Uganda, Malaysia, Italy, Jamaica, France, Thailand. Have you ever heard more of a mixture of countries that have got so many different things going on with them all agree over one main thing, and that is we are sick of Harry and Meghan. It should hardly come as a surprise that in 2022, Meghan won the poll as most annoying celebrities that people have had enough of. She beat her husband, who came in second place, Oprah, and even Amber Heard. Yes, Meghan is truly one of the most unpopular women in the entire world. And as I said, the world seems to agree on this one. It's hardly surprising when we've been inundated continuously of them. They're everywhere. We had billboards with archetypes. We had the weekly podcast of Meghan. In between her weekly podcast, we had magazine interviews. Then we got the trailers for Netflix. The media went mad. They were everywhere. Then we had the Netflix documentary itself. Then we had Harry threatening his book. Then we had the trail of Harry's book. I've never known anyone to give so many interviews on a book. It was absolutely one of the worst media campaigns I've ever seen, where people were just being overloaded daily. Now, you would finally think that that publicity trail had thankfully come to an end. Everything from his todger to broken necklaces to wanting to blow up his father using military aircraft, it's all been aired. Even keeping his mother's hair at the side of the bed. Yes, creepy stuff. And then remembering that his mummy puts Elizabeth Arden cream on her lips as he put it on his todger. This is stuff that you would think that maybe he should only be telling a therapist. And unfortunately for us, Harry is going to be talking to a therapist again. On the 4th of March, he is going to be doing a live conversations with Dr. Gabor Mate. Now, first of all, this live conversation with Dr. Mate, there it turns out, well, there's nothing really that live about it. They might be live talking to each other, but the audience that are being encouraged to pay to participate don't actually get to participate at all. They can sit there and watch. The live audience can have their questions answered, it said, as long as they are sent in by the 1st of March, and then they will be hand selected and potentially picked out if you are a lucky audience member. Chats will be disabled, people will not be able to talk to each other, and most importantly, people will not be able to cheer, to boo, nor would they be able to ask Prince Harry any questions directly. Harry does not have to think on his feet, and it is going to be scripted up to the wazoo. Anyone would think that Harry's a little bit nervous being put in front of a live audience. It goes to show that Harry is unable to think on his feet by himself. No doubt Meghan, his publicist, and Lord knows whoever else will be heavily involved in which questions he can answer to suit whatever narrative he is trying to peddle at the time. Now, given that Dr. Gabor Mate's book, what it is titled, it kind of gives you a gist of what narrative Harry's going to be go with. And unfortunately, it's called The Myth of Normal Trauma, Illness and Healing Toxic Culture. Yes, again, people, we are going to be subjected to Harry unpacking his trauma. I don't know about you guys, but I can think of a wartime song that my grandma actually taught me when I was a kid. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile. And I am totally in support of people seeking therapy, having counselling, going to therapists. But what I am absolutely sick of is a man who seems to be caught in this traumatic hamster wheel of doom, him unpacking his trauma time and time again. I mean, we've heard it all. We've seen it all. We've seen Harry have therapy, which I think is completely unethical live on Oprah. Well, not live, but you know, he was actually there having therapy on TV. Therapy, as far as I'm concerned, should be behind closed doors. You know, it is truly, absolutely disgraceful how Harry has managed to monetize mental health alongside obviously his mother's memories, which he has sold to the highest bidder. Harry is quite clearly going to be talking about the traumas that he went through when he's lost his mother. And I don't mean to sound uncaring here. It is sad that his mother died in a car crash when he was 11 years old. It is sad, but William also went through it. Children all around the world go through traumas and tragedies every single day. People that have gone through losing their parents, people that have gone through heartache, people lose their loved ones in unimaginable ways all the time. You want to read positive stories. You want to read how people have managed to get through it, to push themselves forward. One of the reasons why I admire the Invictus Games is because of those athletes. And of course, it's not just the Invictus Games, it's the Wounded Warriors, it's the Warrior Games that they have over in the USA. All of these athletes from organisations from all around the world that compete in these sporting events, that they have got the most life-changing injuries, and rather than it, you know, become a self-pity party, which it must be. I can't imagine how hard it was. I watched my dad lose both his legs over the course of his illness. You know, it is hard to watch someone you love go through that, but they've turned it into something positive, and they're inspirational. All of these people are inspirational to watch. It is not inspirational to watch Harry mope about how hard his life is, unpack his trauma. And the worst bit is he's monetizing it. And everyone has had enough of celebrities talking about how hard their lives are. We saw it in the pandemic. This was a real turning point, I think, when people decided, do you know what, I've had enough of celebrities. People were confined into tower blocks, apartments. People were not allowed to leave their homes. You have multi-millionaires with their extensive ground swimming pools, home gyms, you know, that they could literally fly anywhere in the world at any given time because they have private jets, and that seemed to make it all okay. You know, and they were talking about how hard they had it. The first podcast that Harry and Meghan did, you know, their huge Spotify contract, we heard from people complaining about how hard they were affected. Multi-millionaires. People are sick of rich people talking about how tough that they've got it. And Harry, absolutely, with his wife, are unifying the world finally on something we can all agree with, and that is we are sick of perpetual victimhood, and we are certainly all sick of hearing about Harry's trauma. Now, the two things that do really push my buttons when it comes to Harry, as I said, what happened to his mother was awful, you know, but it's 25 years ago. He was 11 years old. He's now a grown man, every privilege in his life. He's got a fantastic life. He's been able to move to a country, not have to worry about visa and immigration status like the rest of us because he's rich and he's privileged. He's got two beautiful children, potentially, who knows, a third on the way. He's got millions in the bank. He's got an absolute life of unimaginable wealth and privilege. Harry can just walk into a six-figure salary job because of who he is. Harry can just get paid 20 million for a book because of who he is. Yet with him continuously sharing his trauma, people are meant to be able to relate to him. How can any normal person ever relate to Harry? The only thing that he talks about is how hard his life was and his mother. And the thing is, what I find really sad, I'm seeing more stories come out now of Diana's friends selling letters. I am seeing Diana's friends and people that have kept this stuff quiet for years and years and years selling photographs. I think it's disgusting. I think that they should give those letters to William and he can decide whether he wants to give them to Harry, the same as family photographs. But the reason why these people are suddenly doing it is because Diana is never taken off of a worldwide stage since Harry has decided to sell his mother's memories to the highest bidders. He has gone from fighting with his brother to shut down the Bashir interview ever being used to allowing it to be used in his Netflix documentary. Harry has used his mother in his book in the promotions of Archwell. He has compared his wife to her. He has literally put his mother in a continuous worldwide spotlight, under a spotlight. He's working again, as I said, with Netflix that have aired films, that they've aired Diana the musical, and Harry says absolutely nothing. So if Harry is quite happy to sell his own mother for a paycheck, he's given them the green light. Whereas I think years ago, when he and William would fight to shut down anyone and shut anyone down that they possibly could, Harry has undone all of that. And I think it's time to let Diana rest. And by Harry continuously doing this, it earns him two things. He earns a paycheck talking about his mother, and if anyone criticising it, you get the following clapback. It's Harry's mental health. He should be able to talk about his mental health. Harry was 11 years old when he walked behind his mother's coffin. Yes, and Prince William was only 15 years old. They were brothers together. They had support. They had love. They had the love of a nation that was supporting them. Yet here is Harry yet again selling all of this. Things that should be personal, should be private, that should be kept between him and his brother, to the highest bidder for a paycheck. If anyone says anything like his wife uses the race card, Harry's got the mental health shield that comes up. You know, it's his right to talk about it. No one's stopping him from talking about nice things to do with his mother, but this is getting to the point. It's macabre. It is, honestly, everyone's had enough. Now, as for this Dr. Gabor Mate that he's doing this live that's not a live because there's no interaction. You can pay to be an audience member, but you can't interact, which is completely pointless as far as I'm concerned. You might as well just sit at home on the sofa, watch TV. It's all going to be pre-recorded and pre-scripted. But one of the things that he specialises in is treating patients with psychedelic drugs. And I'm going to say this here. Harry has spoken about recently doing psychedelic drugs and how it helped him. Clearly, Harry has not been helped. Clearly, Harry has had too much therapy. Harry is not a global leader in talking about mental health. Harry is a walking billboard advertisement of when therapy goes bad, or you've had too much therapy, you've not got the right therapist. But for him, he has got a young, impressionable fan base. Harry has got a platform. Harry, this is going to be the second time where he's going to be promoting taking psychedelic drugs to people to recover from trauma. Now, I'm not saying that this hasn't worked for some people around the world, but I can tell you I know what it has done for other people around the world. It has killed them. I know several people, I say several people, I know a couple of people, obviously they will remain private. But when I was growing up, they experimented with acid and LSD. They have never, ever been the same. From one time. One ended up hospitalised trying to cut things out of their skin. The other person has never had a family, can never have children. He doesn't even walk right, you know, and this is from doing it once. So for Harry to be promoting the use of psychedelic drugs, I think it should be shut down. It's absolutely disgraceful, and more importantly, it is absolutely dangerous. And I think it's absolutely disgusting that Harry is trying to now, with this psychobabble bullshit he's coming out with, he's almost encouraging people. He said it's okay, you know, if you're around people that you trust. No, Harry, it's not okay. Some people will never be okay from trying it once. So that's my little anti-drugs banner there. But it is truly disgraceful that he knows he's got this platform in impressionable young people that follow him. And I just absolutely think this shit needs to be shut down. Pardon my French. So between them, with TV interviews, magazine interviews, webinars, paid speeches, chat shows, documentaries, podcasts, memoirs, award shows, set up pap strolls. And that's just Harry and Meghan talking about themselves. On top of that, you then have all of the media outlets reporting on them in addition. So it's hardly surprising that the world has grown tired of Harry and Meghan. Never before has there been two more privileged people that have had every opportunity to do something positive, and yet all they do is run around in a negative hamster wheel, talking about their trauma, their hardships, their struggles. And this is why, exactly why, we are all indeed sick of the Sussexes. So that's it for me, guys, on this video. I will be back with you soon. Take care for now. Bye.
If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.